Alright, so we're going to continue on with one of the quest lines for the event. It's time yet again for an information sale from Lord Shangaba, or Shangama Bay. There we go. Would you two like to purchase the latest reports? Let me see. This information isn't that important, so it'll go for only 500,000 mora. It's half the usual price. What a bargain! Mind giving it to me for free? Bo, you want to bring it down to 0 mora? Just as I expected. But I am the great Lord Shangama Bay. Well, since you're so interested, I'll tell you for free, but you must keep it to yourselves. I heard that 20 years ago, there was a contestant whose personality suddenly changed after taking part in the competition. Well, it looks like someone saw him in Aru Village. I wonder where he ended up. That's all the information you're getting for free. If you want to hear more, you gotta pay 2 million mora. I appreciate your patronage. What a ripoff. We can just go to Aru Village ourselves and ask around.
Keep up.
"20 years ago, a young man did appear here. Back then, life was much harder than it is now. Poverty, disease, ignorance, they tormented us constantly. That young man, clearly from the academia with a bright future, was nevertheless willing to come here and help us. He taught us how to deal with Wanat monsters. He bought us a lot of medicine with money from his own pocket, and took care of the ill all by himself. He sounds like a great guy. Yeah, too bad the good die young. He was always frowning, and no one knew what he was worried about. Everyone was wondering if he was going to leave us. This place did not have the means to properly host him. Still, many said he was a bit crazy to begin with. For example, he would sometimes tell children a story about how, as a child, he taught a strange creature to write. Later, he would often leave the village and explore the desert. Once I asked him what he was looking for, and he said he wanted to talk to someone from the Nagar something group. Later on, I heard that he died in the quicksand. It is said that he encountered a caravan trapped in quicksand on his way to investigate something. He saved many people, but he himself was unable to get out in time. At that time, there was still a half-finished letter addressed to his child at home. After he died, my son took the letter with him, thinking about delivering it someday. Is that unfinished letter still here? No, it's not here. To live a better life, my son became a mercenary. He was killed off in a scuffle a few years ago, and his belongings were taken. Many years have passed in the blink of an eye. I wonder how his child turned out, and if they hold a grudge against him. Not many people know these things anymore. I'm getting old. Perhaps I'll forget these things soon, too. Alright, so that's the end of that one. Let's see if there's like a continuation for thing. Nope, there isn't. Okay. Let's do the one for Kaveh now. That over at his house. I don't know if that's in his house or in the entertainment market street area. Oh no, it's in here. Okay. Kaveh!
20 years ago, the Academia had just received Sachin's estate. To celebrate the huge investment, the Academia extravaganza that year was grander than usual. I was very young then, and I remember seeing posters for the Interdarshan Championship all over the city. I couldn't help but mention it to my father. I even told him that I really liked the look of the diadem. It was so unique. So he said, "Why don't I win it, so I can let you play with it for a few days?" That made me very happy, and I nodded enthusiastically. But to my surprise, he didn't win. And when he got back home, he seemed extremely depressed. Later, he left home, saying that he wanted to do some investigating in the desert. The quicksand got him not long after that.
That was the person who went out to the desert to help people. Wait a minute. Did him touching the thing cause Sachin to try and take control of him or influence him like he did with Kaveh earlier?
For many years, I couldn't face up to it at all. If I just kept my mouth shut, maybe none of it would have ever happened.
Your father may have seen Sachin that year.
Wait, so the person we came across in our investigation, who went into the desert 20 years ago, it was...
Is that why Sachin thought I looked familiar? I can't believe it. My father was always too kind for his own good. Sachin's research would have saddened him greatly. He must have gone into the desert when he heard about it to find those who were still suffering. It all makes sense now. I've tried telling myself so many times over the years that maybe his sudden depression wasn't because he didn't win the competition. Maybe something else was going on that I wasn't aware of. But in the end, it all started with me mentioning the competition to him.
Oh, Kaveh.
Don't worry. I destroyed the diadem. There will never be another tragedy like this again.
Oops. I cut off too soon. Anyways, that's the end of that. So those are the two little side quests for the Parade of Providence event. And since well, there's still stuff to do for the Wisdom Gala. So other than that, that's the end of the event, and I'll see you guys later.